This is your host, Reece Clason. Decided to do a little podcast on the side of racing and making YouTube videos and Instagram videos. Gonna give it a try and do something fun with it. I wanted to do a podcast for a little while now, and I got the time to do it. So here we are. Tonight, I'm sitting down with my cousin, my best friend, the man, the myth, the legend, Mason Schwaber, and here he is.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, Reese? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Enjoying my Sunday off.
Yeah, I believe it. You got a busy schedule. You're running your own Instagram and Twitter social media account for the Mavs, and you are a college athlete, a college student, and you're going through your final year.
Yeah, so senior year for basketball, Division II college basketball player at Lynn University down in Boca Raton. It's a grind, man. Coming in to college, you don't really expect how big of a difference you experience coming in from a state championship high school team to becoming a Division II player. The work grind is different. The classes and being a basketball player is different. The traveling's different. So it's something really different to experience. But I love it, man. I love every second of it. You make new friends. You make new coaches that you get to meet and be around with all the time. So it's been a really cool experience, and hopefully get to go out with a bang this year. Senior night's coming up on Saturday. We're about to make a run for the national tournament, sitting third in conference right now. So, yeah, man, this will be it for the basketball career, but it's been fun. And, yeah, like you said, I also run a Twitter and Instagram page for the Mavericks. That's been doing very well lately. Recently hit 11,000 on Twitter. Got some NBA guys following me and everything on there. So it's been really fun, and I can't complain, man. I'm in Boca Raton, Florida, chilling, nothing else going on. So it's nice, man.
Yeah, man, I envy that. You've started your Twitter page a couple years ago now, and I've seen it grow, and you're at 11,000 followers now. I really that makes me happy to see you succeeding and your page succeeding. So it's
Thank
really
you.
really cool to see that, and just doing it through school and through your basketball career. Like I've went to college a little bit. I've kind of stepped back from college, and I'm focusing on my racing right now, and but I'll give you credit. College is hard. Like it's hard to do anything else, and then to add a basketball career on top, and then add another career of running a social media. I mean, I give you all the props in the world, and it's very impressive.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So
So
I mean,
I got a question
just
for you.
what's that?
So the fans have seen and heard on your social media that you recently had a little injury. How's that going? How are you doing?
The injury it's healing. It really isn't that public. It's I've kind of kept it under wraps, and I'm not gonna say a bunch about it. But I'll be back soon. I'm home for a little while. We're healing and we're getting better. But yeah, it should be pretty soon. I see the doctors here in a week, and we'll go from there. But I'll kind of give more of an update once I know more. It's kind of still up in the air right now. We think there's a problem with one thing, but there could be one with another, and we don't know until I go back. And yeah, it's kind of been stressful. It kind of derailed some plans, but it's gonna. Everybody will know more about it here soon. So yeah, we're just healing and getting there.
Good.
But I kind of want to talk a little bit about the podcast first. I want to introduce you and kind of get everybody to know you. You're kind of going to be my co-host slash like part-time host with me. We're going to do some interviews with some different guys from the moto industry that I know and just guys we know in general. Me and you, we used to run a page called Moto Vibes back in the day. I mean, we did pretty good. We had some cool guys on
It
there
was
for
good.
interviews.
It was
And
good.
it was good. And I just remember me and you, when we'd run that, we'd make so many people mad with the comments we'd make. And we tried to keep it that we hit it for a long time. And then when we'd show a lot of favoritism to Cade, it just kind of, everybody was like, all right, we know who these kids are.
Dude, we were young. We were
Oh,
young.
dude, when we started, I think I was like 12. So yes, we were very young.
Yeah, I remember one time Cade was racing Arlington Supercross, and I
Mm-hmm.
tweeted something about someone that Cade was battling with in the LCQ or something. And he comes back to our, because we lived in Dallas at the time, and he comes back to our house after the race. It's like, why the hell would you tweet that shit?
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
the
I was
amount
like
of times
15.
Oh yeah, the amount of times like Cade yelled at me about stuff I said on social media, like I can't even count with 10 hands.
No,
Like,
no.
yeah, I mean, it's all out of love. Like
Yeah.
it, um, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of going to be a cool future for us, and I think that my page can grow, and I think with your help, I mean, you're very good in the social media stuff and the aspect of that. Like you've grown your own page, so I think it go pretty far, and I'm excited for the future. I've already been talking to a couple guys about doing a podcast, so it'll be cool.
Yeah, 1,000%, 1,000%,
Yeah,
and I think it'll be fun to mix it up too with moto stuff, basketball stuff, dive into other sports as well. So we'll make the best of it for sure.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like we kind of talked about this off air. Is like I didn't want to come into this and just do like moto and just stick to moto, and I
Right,
think
right.
like what I've kind of emphasized to myself and I'm kind of implementing into myself is I want to get my social media just kind of away, just being motocross. Like motocross is a big part of my life. Like you can look behind me, like I got all kinds of moto, but like hunting in the outdoors and there's some other stuff that's a big part of my life. And I just kind of want to make it kind of just a sit down, like just talk, have conversations and not make it such an interview.
Yeah, and that's the thing that you've always had about you is you, when we were young, man, you couldn't stick to one dang hobby. It was
No, I
it was
still
it was
can't.
baseball for a week, and then I want to play football, and then Mom, I'm going to be a professional tennis player.
Oh yeah, dude, the tennis phase was rough.
So I mean,
Oh
yeah, but it'll be nice to dive into a bunch of different topics, and I think the creativity that we both hold in our lives is going to be really nice to have on this show. So yeah, man.
yeah, yeah, I think it'll be really cool, and I'm excited for the future with this show. So,
Yeah,
um, obviously, this is the first episode, and I just said I didn't want to talk a lot about motocross, but we're going to talk about some supercross and motocross.
yeah,
So, obviously, this weekend it held a big, big weekend in the supercross industry. I first off want to start off by saying I'm happy Forkner is okay. That was vicious. I was terrified watching the show. Like I watched as I was watching, I was like, he's going right, he's going into the concrete, and I was speechless. Like I didn't care who won the race, I didn't care who finished. I just wanted to see something about him because as a rider, like that is a big impact. And then not even only the big impact to do it onto the concrete is just terrifying. I hated it for him, especially for him. He was riding so well, and
so good.
it was a terrifying scene. Like I'm gonna kind of get into it later about some rider safety and stuff, but it was terrifying. So
Yeah, it was, and you hate to see someone like Faulkner who's had these kind of negative setbacks throughout his whole career. Someone that's always shown the potential, even his rookie year, the 214 Faulkner, someone who was always thriving in outdoors and supercross and had the potential, but there was always an injury popping up. So that really sucks to see Faulkner go down like that. But the great news is that it's not something that's going to be super long term. Obviously, probably for the season, but it's not an injury that's going to officially ruin his career and set him back
yeah,
forever. So it was nice to hear some positive output after the crash and that he's okay and he's healing. And yeah, man, prayers up to him. And it would have been fun. It would have been fun
yeah.
to see him
It was
battle
it was
Alex
just
Eags.
oh yeah, like just it reminded me of the old days when he was battling Zacho when he first came up and just finally hit his stride
Yep,
and he was winning and
yep,
I honestly was rooting for him. I like the underdog story. Like him and Ken Roxon are the guys like I just look at. They've had horrific injuries, the craziest scenarios have happened to them, and they're fighting through it, and that's really cool for me to watch. And man, it was so hard to watch. I was just like,
it
this
was.
can't be real. It can't
Yeah,
be real. And
yeah,
his dad kind of gave an update and told what was going on, so that made me happy to see. And I think a lot of people care. And it's just really cool to see. Um,
yeah, man.
uh, just going through the whole night. The whole night was crazy. Like the heat races were the best heat races I have watched ever.
Well,
Like
yeah, I would say 2024 Supercross has been some of the best Supercross we've seen in a very long time. Championships are close. Every heat race is fun to watch. Every LCQ is fun to watch. Every main is battling. There's crashing. There's carnage. We could talk. Well, I'm sure we'll dive into Vince Freezy and Jet Lawrence. I mean, just stuff like that, man. I mean, 250 heat. Brock Poppy, Munoz, and I forget who the other guy was. They're
Linville.
Gage Linville. Those dudes were battling, and dudes going flying off into
Oh
other
my
sections,
God.
and it just makes you realize, like, man, some guys are so close in speed now to where back a few years ago, everyone was sort of gapped out a little bit more. There was the
Oh yeah.
really fast dudes, the fast guys, and then the privateers, and now everyone's
Yeah.
more bunched up, and it makes racing so much more
Oh
entertaining.
yeah. And like, dude, the Pappy, Munoz, and Linville battle, I was watching that and it just I didn't know who to cheer for. I was just excited. Like it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
entertainment all the way. Like watching Munoz in the first rhythm section go triple after blowing his face off the bars, I was just like, oh my God, he's gonna wad himself up. Like Munoz, I knew was gonna go hard. That whole sequence was just amazing. And I wish I could show it on here without getting copyright because if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it because I promise you it's the best racing you've seen in a long time. Like it was just
It was,
it was wild. It looked like an amateur arena cross local race, like just with
yeah, yeah.
everybody running into each other, just launching everywhere. It was
It,
awesome.
it was cool, man. And, 250s were obviously very fun to watch. And some bad stuff happened with Faulkner, obviously. But I think we deserve to talk about what happened in the 450 race. I think we deserve to talk about, is Jet Lawrence a clutch rider? Meaning, can he finish out races? Because now you question that scenario. You know, he crashes. And then obviously, you know what? You cannot blame Vince Freeze. You can't
No,
blame Vince.
no.
There was
I
nowhere
said
for him to go. He sees the blue flag last second. That is Jet's job to make a decision. It was a poor decision.
so. I said this on Twitter last night. I said I can't blame Vince for that one. Like Vince stayed to the one side of the track. He wasn't in the middle. It wasn't like he was trying to block. Like I think it's hard in those situations when there's two guys battling and there's a lapper. Like the lapper is trying to get out of the way for one guy. He can't. It's hard to get out of the way for both. Um, I
Right.
I, I don't blame Vince for that. I think Jet made a poor mistake. I think Jet should have tried to pass him in the corner before the whoops. Because I mean Webb went a little higher than he had been, and I think Jet should have just ran it in there, knowing he
Do
didn't
you
have
think
much time.
do you think Jet would have got back by Cooper?
I think there's a chance. I think Jet probably would
Because
have tried to.
Cooper's good at Arlington. Always
He's
has
good at
been.
Arlington. What I was thinking that whole last lap is I was like, Webb and Kenny had the closest finish ever, and it's about to be
Yeah.
Jet and Coop gonna beat it. And I don't know. I don't. It's hard to say. Like, could Jet have gotten him? Yeah. Could Cooper have still won? 100%. Like, I think it kind of made the series more interesting. Jet falling though, because more guys got by, kept the points a little closer. Because if he would have
Right.
finished second, he would have a bigger points lead still. So I like the fact of the entertainment value of everyone being close, and I think it's really cool how many guys were close. So yeah, I don't blame Vince for that. I think everybody's kind of jumping the gun at Vince because Vince does a lot of stupid stuff. Like the World Supercross stuff was just out of this world, and
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
I don't
and
know.
side note, bless you. Shout out to Eli Tomac because that was awesome.
Dude,
That was
that was
awesome.
like full vintage Eli right there. Like that was
It
insane.
gave
He was
it gave
going
me
so
it gave
fast
me it gave me James Stewart deja vu when he made that comeback.
at
Was
where
it
was it? At
was it
Toronto.
Toronto?
Toronto
Yeah, Toronto.
2014. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that race was incredible. That
But
like
that was really cool. And also, I think you wanted to say something about Deegan, his post race interview.
yeah, so I wanted to kind of say something about his interview. I think he went the wrong way with it. Like I've known some stuff like that Deegan's kind of a punk. I'm gonna be straight up. He's kind of a punk, and
Yeah.
there's gonna be hate for it. But I'm gonna say it. Like he went the wrong way with that. Like he should have known. Everybody was in love with Faulkner after winning the first round. Like Faulkner's had a heck of a career. He's got hurt a bunch of times. He's just having a rough go. So
Hmm.
I think what he should have done is do the complete opposite of what he did. He goes up there and goes, "Man, I got lucky tonight. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucks Faulkner went down. I mean, I hate to see it. He was riding great. I don't like the fact that he kind of just was like he couldn't handle the pressure. I was like, dude, you've fallen the pressure too. Like, I don't I just didn't like that. I think he should have kind of played it off as like I kind of got a gift instead of being like, oh, I earned that. I pressured him into a mistake. It was like, no, you dropped back 2.5 seconds right before he crashed. Like, it wasn't like you were right on his tail and you did that. You were 2.5
Right.
seconds back. So
Yeah.
I think Deegan kind of made himself the enemy out of everybody. Like, I think he could have gained a lot of fans that night. And instead, he kind of went the wrong way about it and went the metal militia way and lost some fans. So I don't know what you think. That's just kind of what I think as being another racer. Like, if I heard someone say that about me, I'd be like, what's this guy saying? Like, yeah, I made a racing incident. He didn't pressure me into something.
Yeah. No, I agree. Who do you think wins the East Coast now?
I mean, it's hard to not say Deegan. I mean, I hate to say it, but like he won. Like he won. I mean, Forkner's out, and I think he just carries enough
Anstey.
swagger. No, I mean, he is the points leader.
He
He is
is.
the points leader.
He is.
So I don't know. I think I want to see McAdoo win it now. I mean, I want to see the PC guys win it. Like, that would be cool. I mean, Mitch hasn't won a title in a while, so I don't know. It's gonna get interesting though. I mean, all three titles are really close still. Like, I mean, it's between Smith, Kitchen, and RJ on the West, and then the 450s are still wide open. There's like 5 guys that can still win. And the
Yeah.
250 East, I mean, you have no clue. You have no
No, you
clue.
don't. You don't. And
So,
what makes Supercross so entertaining is that you never know when someone's going to get hurt.
no.
So.
And okay, so bringing up that topic, I kind of want to bring something up about Feld. I don't know if you've heard like Feld's trying to do all these safety measures and trying to make the racing safer, which I'm all for. But I was thinking about this last night after I watched a race. I walked to my mom's house and I was coming back to my dad's, and I was just like, well, they're making all these safety features, but they're almost making it more dangerous. Like, if you look at practice, the roughest time of the day is the second round of practice. Like, it's usually after they do prep and then they run the second time qualifying session. Those last 3 time qualifying sessions, the track is absolutely a bomb field. Like, there's just holes, ruts, the jumps are destroyed. And I understand the night show aspect of running the 450s first. As much as I don't like it, I understand
I
it.
hate it. I hate it.
Which a lot of people do. But the way I look at it is they're trying to show the fast guys first, and then they're trying to show them last. So it keeps
But
people
it's
there.
also weird. Like, I feel like if you're going to do that, then 450 main should go first, because why are they doing 250 LCQ straight into 250 main? I
Well,
don't like that at all.
they want to start the night with the big names, and they want to end the night with the big names. Which, if they're going to do that, fine, they can do that. Bring back the semis. They bring back the semis, they can fix the whole problem, which I'll get into in just a second. Let me finish my first part. The practice. They switch 250s and 450s, which is fine, other than the fact you're putting the 250C and 250B guys last, which those guys have the least amount of experience on a supercross track out of every guy there. Like, they're in 250C and 250B for a reason. So you're putting them out there on the gnarliest track saying, all right, we need you to go put a top 40 time in and not die. Which,
Yeah.
trust me, I've ridden supercross. That's hard to do on a rough track. Like, it is just, I don't understand why they're doing that. Like, I understand the night show. Why you got to flip practice? Just run the 250s first. Make it easier. And then, like you said, all they got to do for the night show, they got to just put semis back for the 450s. Make the night show a little bit longer. Bring the semis back. You can go on 450 heats, 250 heats, 450 semis, 250 LCQ, 450 LCQ, 250 main event, 450 main event. And you can
And
fix that whole problem.
semis make racing so much more entertaining, because then you get fans who only love watching factory guys. Then you get to see factory guys battle in the heat to get a top 4.
Yeah, it
And
makes
then
it more interesting.
you get to see dudes battle for a top 5. And it just, dude, from a fan aspect, I don't get how you could just like heat LCQ more. It
Yes,
doesn't make sense
exactly.
to me.
Like, the top 9 thing, like, you take the top 9, but they only show like the top 3 the whole time. It's not like they're showing first through 9th. They only show like the top 3. And that's another thing. The LCQ, I hate when there's factory dudes in it, because it's like, all right, we got to just focus on this guy for the whole time. Like, Barsha, they showed him 90% of the race. And it's like, all right, we know he's going to win. He whole shot it. He ain't going to blow it. Like, show the other guys that are battling for a paycheck. Like, that's interesting. They're fighting for money and their livelihood. So I don't know. I think Feld's going the right way, but in the wrong way at the same time. Like,
I agree with
They're
you.
making it better, but they're also making it kind of dumb. Like I think they can do better. Like they're making it kind of unsafe putting those 250 guys last in practice. And then why don't we have dirt on the concrete at these stadiums? Like
It's weird.
Arlington's the one I've always noticed. Like they have so much concrete off the side of the track. Like it can't cost that much to put dirt over
No.
that, right?
Yeah,
And they're
I
already
just
cleaning
don't
up
think I
the.
don't think they think of it like that.
I mean, it happened to Webb like 2 years ago. He went
It did.
flipping off the track there too.
It
So
did.
I don't know. It's just like being a rider. Like I look at it from a rider
Yeah,
standpoint more than a fan, and just I think Feld should do more of asking the riders their opinion. So I
I
don't know.
agree.
I mean, you're
Yeah,
more of a fan. You don't race. So what do you think about it? Like, do you think I'm right or do you think
I
I'm wrong?
I think hearing a rider's explanation even makes you want to support it even more. And I think it's obvious. Like it's also just an obvious thing. Like dirt, like riding a dirt bike is one of the sketchiest things you can do in your life. Why would you have a concrete floor 6 feet away from where you're riding? It doesn't make sense. So, I mean, yeah, I think they should address that situation, and I think it will be addressed, but hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, let's you wanna switch up a little, switch the
Yeah.
topics up.
Yeah. Right. Really quick before that, I think I know where we're going, but what sports, if we're going to be a national based sport, what sports do you guys get tackled, fall, whatever, onto a surface that isn't their game surface? Like football, you get tackled, you're going to land on grass if you go out of bounds. Basketball, you're going to land on the wood, which that's hard. Don't get me wrong. But
Or
like
fan.
motocross, like I, I feel like we
Yeah,
should land on dirt. If we're going to crash, we land on dirt, not the dang concrete. I mean, I don't.
so it's a
So
fair point. It's a fair
yeah,
point, but I also think like they look, and I hate to say this, and I might be wrong, but I think sometimes the way they think of it is these crashes and stuff like what happened to Faulkner. I hate saying this, but it creates entertainment for the
oh
fans.
yeah, and that's all they want
So
to
I
do.
think, yeah, upping the views, boosting the views and everything. That's what they think of occasionally. I feel like, which sucks because it's ethics wise, it's awful.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, honestly, these guys don't care about ethics. They just care about money, and that's what they
right.
want. Which
Doesn't
I mean, it
matter.
kind of sucks, but it's the sport we got. And that's what we're going for, and it's gonna be there for a while. So, and honestly, like I think they're doing a great job. Other than some of the safety stuff, like I think the sport is growing. Like to me, I feel like we're getting more crowds at the outdoors, more crowds at the indoors,
Yeah,
and that's really good. Like I want to see these guys get the credit they deserve for this, how special their sport is, because I think they've been overlooked for a while, and like our sport's pretty cool. Like we're racing in the Cowboy Stadium, we're racing in like all these baseball stadiums. Like I don't think a lot of people in the regular world realize that we're doing that and that we're
yeah,
using their stadiums and we're doing such a cool event. So
it's cool. It
yeah.
is. It
So
is.
where'd you want to break off to?
You know, I was thinking about this before we started the show.
Oh boy.
Because it wasn't even about the show. It was just something that I had been thinking about forever. Top three favorite sports movies because there's
Movies?
so many to choose from. There's so many to choose. I'm definitely putting Remember the Titans in there.
Yeah, you kind of have to. That's like everybody classifies it as the greatest movie ever. I don't think it personally is, but you have to because everybody likes it. My okay. Do you know what my personal favorite movie is? I feel like you should know for sports. It's on Disney Plus. I watched it yesterday, actually.
Oh, are you talking about the Supercross movie?
No, but I didn't even consider that one. That one's pretty. Supercrossed is pretty good.
Movie on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
What
it's
sport?
hockey.
Oh, the Ducks movie.
No, not Mighty Ducks. It's Miracle.
Oh, Miracle.
One of
Miracle is a
them
good
winning the
movie.
gold. That
Yeah,
is, dude,
yeah,
that's
that's a
my
good.
favorite sports movie of all time.
I was never big into hockey. It was always my dad would sometimes put on a baseball movie, but
There's
it
a
was always
lot of good
basketball.
baseball movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Major League is really good.
Yeah.
Um,
What's
but that
your
was
what's
all
your top three? I mean, you bring up top three, you gotta give a top
top
three.
three. I don't know if you know this one, but it's Coach Carter.
Yep. Is that
Coach Carter's
3?
great. Yeah, Coach Carter's 3. Oh man, I remember the Titans. I'm gonna put it at 2. Not a lot of people know about these movies, but the Like Mike movies are great.
Like Mike's pretty good. I see clips of that
Like
on TikTok.
like Mike is really good. I would probably put Like Mike as my honorable mention, and then for my number one, I would probably put Glory Road.
Glory Road's
Glory
really good.
Glory Road's my number one for sure.
Yeah.
That was like one of the first basketball movies I ever watched. I will say though, they have put out some really good basketball movies lately. Like
Hustle's pretty good.
Hustle was really good. White Man Can't Jump 2 was pretty good. That's all. The first one's also a classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, basketball movies are really good. Football, I would say the only football movies I really like is Remember the Titans and Blindside. Oh, and oh, what's the one where he's a walk-on at Arkansas? It's
Oh,
on
dude.
Disney.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's a good movie too. I like that story. Gosh, I don't remember what it's called.
Greater,
Greater, yeah. Yeah. So
Greater. That was a good movie. What I'm trying. What's the best? What's your best movie?
so I'd say at 3, mm, I'd probably like I'm just gonna go based off mine. Like I don't care if they're good or not. I'm gonna say Cool Runnings at 3 because it's so funny. It's so good.
Santo,
Um
you good man? Oh
no.
man.
um yeah, so Cool Runnings at 3.
Santo.
At 2, I'd probably say, oh man, probably I'm gonna say Glory Road. Glory Road's pretty good. I really like Glory Road, and then I'm gonna say Miracle at 1. Miracle's my favorite, and it always will be.
Miracle.
So, I mean, like out of the sports movies, like I'd say a lot of the great ones have been made a while ago. Like there's not been a great like baseball has always had great movies. Like
Yeah.
For the Love of the Game's a really good one with Billy Chapel. That one's really good. Um, I'm trying to think of some others like the Rookie of the Year. That one's really
Yeah.
good.
42.
42 is really good. That was a good movie. That was my favorite movie for a while. Oh, actually, I don't know if this counts as a sports movie, which I think it should. Ford versus Ferrari. That is a great
That was
movie.
good. That was good. That was good. But the
That movie's
only thing I
really good.
didn't like about it was just a little too long. It was like a 3-hour movie, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. It was like 2:45. It was forever. But no,
Yeah, but that
that was a really good movie.
that was a good movie. And then I'm trying to favorite TV show. I think we both have the same answer.
Well, I know what you're gonna say, but I don't know. I don't know. I've kind of came into a different TV show lately.
Bro, you can't disrespect our show like that.
I know,
You
and
can't like you go all time.
dude. I
Our
named my
shows are
dog
some.
after the TV show.
I know that's what I'm talking
I
about,
know.
dog.
Like, don't tell me I'm disrespecting it. I named my dog after one of the main characters.
If you guys are listening, The Ranch is the best show in
Oh,
history
dude,
of television.
The Ranch is great, but dude, I'm gonna be honest. I think
Don't if you say
Yellowstone is really good, dude. Like, have you watched it? It is so good.
I'm not. I think I'm the only one in our family that hasn't watched it.
Oh my gosh, dude. You haven't watched the whole thing of Yellowstone yet?
Bro, I haven't watched 2 episodes of it probably.
The first one's really long, but after that, it's so good, dude.
Was it even on?
It's on Peacock.
It's on
Or
Peacock.
yeah, it's on Peacock. Yeah, Peacock. Yeah. It's so good, dude. Like you gotta watch it. Like before we do our next episode, you have to at least watch season 1.
I will. I will.
No, you won't.
Yes, I'll watch it. I don't. I can't promise the whole episode, but I'll throw on an
Bro,
episode tonight. But
there's like 4.5 seasons. Like you have to watch at least a season.
I'm trying to think what other shows I used to be big into. Oh, 2.5 Men. I actually,
Bro,
I actually, I actually popped up this TikTok and it was like shows you used to watch with your dad and it was 2.5 Men, Duck Dynasty, Pawn Stars. There was one more. American something. They would go to like guys' houses.
Oh, American Pickers.
American Pickers
Dude,
and
you know,
Storage Wars.
you know who that described? It's not our dads.
It's Pat.
It's our grandfather. It's
It's
Pap.
our grandpa.
Dude,
It's their
Pap,
grandpa.
that's all he watches. And ridiculousness. Like, that's all he'll
Oh,
ever
and
watch.
yo, what's the four guys?
Oh, Impractical Jokers. Dude. Well, it's
That's a
three
great
guys
show.
now, but
It is,
yes,
yeah.
I mean, that's a shame. Like, that show was so good. And I understand why Joe left. He had some family stuff, but I wish he was still on there. That show's not the same without it. I
Speaking
mean,
shame, speaking shame, I watch a lot of Shameless too. That was a good show.
never watched that one. You used to be big into Prison Break. We both kind of watched Prison Break a little bit.
Prison Break was a phenomenal show. I mean, it also like, dude, I like when they lead you on, like they foreshadow things. Like I don't like
Oh,
set
yeah.
episodes where it's just like, like my girlfriend, dude, she watches that TV show called New Girl. You know New Girl? Bro, and it's
Haven't
just
watched
like
that show.
it's sort of like Two and a Half Men, where there's no like consistent storyline, but like
Oh, it's
each
just one
episode,
episode is
yeah,
a
each
story.
episode has its own story, and then the next episode is a new story,
Yeah.
which I hate.
Yeah. See, like, I just kind of like that. The ranch was kind of like that, but they had a storyline. They were like that
It was
sitcom
mixed,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah. Like The Rookie. Have you ever watched that, the cop show? So I really like that show. Like, I enjoy that show. And they're
Yep.
kind of like both. Like, it's weird. Like, they have a story inside of it, but they keep a story through all the episodes. And it I don't know. Like, I kind of like the Yellowstone aspect in the ranch where they have a story constantly and they
Yeah,
like
I need to try
leave
the
you on
Yellowstone.
cliffhangers. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think Yellowstone is like probably one of the best shows ever. And they got like 7 different series of like similar shows. So you can't go wrong. So I don't know. I mean, yeah.
What's
I
it?
mean,
I got a question. What's up?
do you watch any of like the Lakers and the like the one about the Lakers with Magic Johnson? Isn't that a TV show or is that a movie?
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing.
It's not as good as it seems.
No, no, not at all. I mean, it doesn't seem that realistic. I'm
Yeah.
more of like if you're gonna do like a sports documentary or something about a player, I rather have like the one they did with MJ, like where he was explaining what he had went through.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. The like Air Jordan one where they
the
talk about
Last
his
Dance.
shoes.
Well, that's
Oh,
a
oh,
movie.
that's a documentary.
I'm the movie was the Air Jordan one. The documentary is The Last Dance,
Okay.
where he's basically like going into depth about like his whole sports career and everything like that. And I think, bro, like I think LeBron should do it when he retires. Because
I
I
think they
think
should do one
something like
about
that
Bird.
they should
About
do
old Larry
something about
Bird.
it.
That'd be
They
cool.
have a bird documentary, but it's not like him talking first person about it the
Yeah.
whole time like MJ. And I think it's really cool to hear like I think they should do this for some racers too. Like to have like a person sit down for a few episodes and go into depth about different segments throughout their career is really
Yeah.
cool to hear because they have like stories that we've never heard
Oh yeah,
about
like
other
practice track
people.
stories and yeah.
Like you go on social media nowadays and like for like a basketball player, like you'll see like all these guys have podcasts now,
Oh
and
yeah.
they say like a story about Kobe, like a legendary story about Kobe or something, and it's just like it's cool to hear because as fans, you just hear the big time news come out. You don't hear the really cool stories that happen behind the scenes. So I would really like to see some like cool documentaries. Like my favorite player of all time, hands down, will always
Yeah.
be like Dirk.
Oh yeah.
If there was a documentary about Dirk Nowitzki, I wouldn't go to sleep. I wouldn't go to sleep. I would watch it the whole time.
Oh yeah. And like I think they're coming out with one about Carmichael. I think he talked about it on the Pulp Show. Like there's
That would be
one in
cool.
works. Like the Carmichael, it's supposed to be like the Carmichael or something. Like it. I mean, it's supposed to be like a big documentary, and they're supposed to sell it to like Paramount or something. So I mean, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Those documentaries are really cool because you just see the aspect of their life that never got showed. It's basically like a big behind the scenes video about their whole career, and
Yeah.
it's cool. Like I like I like watching people's videos on YouTube and stuff, but I always enjoy the behind the scenes. Like I want to see how it's made. I want to see how they put in the work for this or how they did that. Like it's always just cool to see how stuff is built rather than just seeing the final project sometimes.
Yeah, speaking of Carmichael, what do you think about him as an announcer?
We have the same initials, and my favorite number is 4, so it's hard for me to hate on him. But I just feel like he stumbles sometimes. I mean, nothing against him. I just feel like he kind of talks like me. Like we just put words together. Like we just, I don't know. I think he can be a little better in some areas. Like I hate when he goes, could see it coming from a mile away. Like that drives me nuts. Like no, you didn't. You just want to say that. You didn't see it
Yeah,
because if
and
you saw it, you would say it.
yeah, and something we didn't really talk about much at the beginning, but I think he deserves a shout out for you, especially because of the impact he's made on you and within the last year. Daniel Blair,
Mhm.
especially at next level and everything. Talk about that and what he's helped you out with and everything.
Yeah, working with DB is just it's really really cool. I've loved every minute of it. I kind of started getting in touch with DB last year, right before Thanksgiving in Minios. Went down there for 2 weeks, did some little Supercross boot camp, and then we kind of from Minios on, we've kind of worked together. Just he's great at leading. He knows what we should do, and he's great in the mind of knowing how to do it the right way. And he's
Mhm.
all about progression. Like he doesn't like rushing things, and it's just really really cool to work with. He's a great mind. He's a great person. He's funny to be with at the track, and like yeah, it's really cool to work with and be with someone who's so famous and just he knows inside stuff. So sometimes I hear some cool inside stuff about what's going on, and
Yeah.
it's really really cool. He's got some cool stories, and he's a great dude, and I'm very thankful for all the time I've had with Daniel Blair so far. And we're just getting started. We got some work to go still, and we were texting the other day just about some stuff about what I got to work on and how I got to work on it. So it's cool to just pick his brain sometimes and just send him some clips and stuff. So it's really
What's
really cool.
how's the facilities been there?
The facilities, I wouldn't say they're the best. They're definitely not Club MX, but they're kind of starting. They're just getting started out. They've been here for like a couple years, and they're just every step they're building, and it's getting better and better every week. And Jessica Patterson and Daniel, they're working together to make it the best they can, and it's getting really good. Like the Supercross track is coming together. I mean, when I went there in November, it was a little bit tamed down, and now it's like a full on Supercross track. Um, we got guys like Kyle Bitterman going out there. My buddy RJ Johnson rides out there all the time. Like it's just building all together at the same time, and it's really cool to see to come together. They got some cool stuff planned that I can't really talk about, but it's really cool, and I'm excited for them. And it's a great facility so far.
Yeah, that's good to hear too, man, because I will say, like as a collegiate athlete, trainers are having a great trainer is one of the most important things to having a successful career. Um, you know, just a little backstory, like for me, senior year, I start my senior year with zero collegiate offers. Um, I start working out with this trainer 4 times a week. Shout out E4 Athletics, gotta rep it.
There you
Eric
go.
Carvalho, just a great trainer, and all of a sudden he helps me drop 60 pounds in 1 year, and then playoff run and everything through that. Working with him throughout the whole thing, and then COVID hits, and he keeps pushing me. I put on some muscle, and you get offers and everything, and it's the same thing with racing. Is you got to be in good shape.
Oh yeah.
You need someone to push you and push you the right way for someone who knows you well. And it sounds like you and DB have that good relationship, and that's really going to help you succeed in this sport in the future. So it's glad to hear that you have a good situation with you, because a lot of people in sports, regardless of what you play or race, they're not always beneficial enough to have the person that they want supporting them. So to have someone like DB for you is really big for you, and that's going to help you out long term in your career,
Yeah, and like
off and off the track for sure, off and off
oh
the
yeah.
track.
Yeah, and just like what I've kind of noticed is having the belief in somebody and having the kind of leadership of like, hey, we got to do this. We need to go to these races. We need to do this. We need to train for this. We need to kind of lay off that a little bit. It's a huge help. Like it just takes the like kind of guessing out of it. Like I've been to a couple different facilities now, and it's nothing against those other facilities. I enjoyed my time there. Like I would totally go back. Like just being with Daniel is like he's like, all right, we're getting ready for this event right now. Like this is your plan. we sit down and we make a plan for myself. It's not a kind of group plan where everyone's like, all right, we're all going to prepare for this race, but it's like, all right, wait, I'm going to a race before that. I'm not going to that race. Like, why am I preparing for that?
Right.
And it's kind of like a set thing for me. And it's just really cool. Like it's nice to have that person being Daniel and him just being like, all right, we're going to do this and we're going to focus only on that right now. And it's really cool. It makes you feel so official and just makes you feel like the guy. And it's cool to have.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's like a lot of things with racing is having that guy. And I think one thing we saw with Faulkner is he started working with Rhino and it kind of got himself back on track. Like you see guys go to Alden's and they get back on track. Like it's all about who you work with and if you're confident in who you're working with. Like I'm confident in Daniel. Like I'm sure I'm sure Mookie's confident in Alden when he goes to work out. Like you just got to have the confidence in that guy and then it just brings your confidence everywhere else. So I just it's really cool to have somebody like that.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I mean, so what's kind of your plans going forward after you got senior night and then you got the NCAA tournament. So what's going on after that? I mean, you kind of got anything set in stone for you?
So nothing official yet. This next this next three weeks is sort of stressful as a student athlete. So basically the whole layout of it is our senior night Saturday, which is our last regular season game.
Mm,
We clinched a top 4 seed, so we go to a conference tournament after this. Top 8 go there. Top
okay.
4 host a home game for the first round. And then, it's like a bracket from there. Typically the top 3 from your conference make it to the national tournament.
Mm.
Um so that's where it gets really spicy. So
Is
next
that
week,
is
what's
that
up?
based on your regular season finish or your tournament finish?
Both.
Both. How do they get the
Both.
top?
So right now we're 1 game behind third. We're in fourth.
Okay.
The
Okay.
team we're playing on senior night is third place.
Okay.
So if we win that game, we get third, but it's like we still want to do better than them in the conference tournament just to be safe to make sure to clinch the
Yes.
national tournament.
Yes.
Um, if we get fourth, if we lose to them, which I don't think we will, I know we won't. But if we do get fourth, we're probably going to have to make it to conference championship game to be able
Okay.
to clinch national tournament and everything. But after that, it's national tournament and it's win or go home. Right now, we're treating every game like it's win or go home. Just because of every game's coming down to the line, stuff like that. And then after the season, man, I'm trying to become a graduate assistant for a college basketball team. So that whole process really will get sped up once the season ends. More job opportunities and everything. So I'm looking really forward to that. And hopefully, I'll have some good news coming within the next few months about that. And we could talk about that when that happens. But yeah, just really going to focus on family time after this season's done.
Yeah.
You know, being a college athlete, you don't really get to go home a lot. Normal students get a month winter break when we have 5 days winter break. Um,
Yeah.
Normal students get a spring break. We don't get a spring break. That's when conference tournament is. So really just going to try to focus on family time. Go see the family in Vero, go up to Ohio and see the grandparents and cousins and stuff like that. So I'm thankful for the fact that they're able to come visit me at my games. Going to have some family come down for senior night and everything like that. So that'll be really nice. And yeah, thankful for the journey, but let's just say I'm ready to hang up a basketball jersey. Body, I'm 21 years old, but body feels like I'm 60, man.
Oh, dude, I've learned that. Like, I'm 19 and I feel like I'm 70. Like, my
Yeah.
knees hurt, my ankles hurt, my shoulders hurt. Like, I think you know it too. Like, being an athlete, it sucks. Like, your
And
body
what,
just takes a
yeah.
beating.
And what blows is like, dude, it's high school where it started. And like in high school, I was pretty healthy. Like when it came to injuries and everything. I mean, I dislocated my shoulder twice, which sucked.
Yeah.
But I
Mhm.
mean, in college, the only really major injury I had was my sophomore year. I fractured my heel and tore 3 ligaments in my right ankle,
Yeah.
which was like the only thing that I ever had to like miss an extended period amount of time. Oh, and a concussion. But
What concussion?
but I mean, yeah, my body's taking a toll on all of this stuff. And it's time to start making money, you know.
Oh yeah,
Um, you
yeah.
get into the age where you can't rely on others for everything. So really looking forward to that and taking the next step in my personal career.
Well, I envy that. I'm happy to see your journey, and I mean, I've gotten to see and watch from online. Like we've lived so far apart for so long. Like watching your games online, and especially after COVID, everything became online. You were able to watch, and like it's cool to see your career, and I'm happy for you. And we've talked a
Thank
little
you.
bit, and I personally wish you would get to play another season, but I get it. It's part of it, and it's your choice, and I ultimately accept your decision. And
It's not
I'm
gonna
happy
happen.
for you. I know. As much as I
Dude,
want to, it
dude,
won't.
it's everyone, bro.
Oh,
It's
I know.
everyone. It's
I know.
everyone. I think I don't want to go like too in depth about it because I don't know who's gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Um, but it's sort of it was rough, but you got to be like thankful for the opportunities you get in life. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say, I had the best like basketball experience in college. I had a great time,
Oh
but
yeah.
for going from where you're playing 32 out of 32 minutes a game in high school every game
Oh yeah.
to being a captain in college basketball for 2 years and not really getting to touch the floor that much other than when it's blowout in games and stuff. It's really stressful and it takes a toll on your mind, and that's why I've always been preaching mental health is so crucial in sports. And being able to stay up and stay positive throughout rough times in your sports career doesn't mean you have to be down in your personal life and everything. And I think that's something that I compliment myself on a lot is I tried to not have sports and my sports life to affect my personal and family life to where
Yeah.
if I have a bad practice, I don't want to come home sad and everything because look, at the end of the day, if I have a bad practice, it's not going to affect my playing time right now, for
Yeah.
being honest. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, thankful for the journey. Wish a few things could have changed. I had some bad luck. My COVID year, freshman year, the person who recruited me to win, unfortunately had to leave. So it was sort of like I was a new face to everyone that was on that staff. Um, but like I said, I'm thankful for everything, and everyone has a different path in life, and you're gonna have your ups and downs, and it's the people that can survive the downs the most that thrive the most in the future. So
Yeah. And I mean, we've honestly kind of we've I would say you've hit the mark of you're gonna succeed whether it's in college or not. Like I think you're on an upward trajectory out of college, and I mean, yeah, it was a couple rough years, and I could agree with you, and I could say other things, but I mean, you're on an upward trajectory. I mean, you got so many bright things in front of your future. A couple of years, yeah, it's a great memory, and you had a great time. Like I know you've made some friends that are your ride or dies, and heck, I've even became a friend with some of them. So
yeah,
it's awesome to see, and I'm happy for your journey, and I'm excited to see what you have in your future.
thank you, man. Thank you, man.
So
Likewise, likewise.
thank you. Thank you. Well, I mean, I'd say this was a pretty solid episode.
It
It's a
was
first
fun.
episode. Yeah. So, I mean,
It was fun.
I'm going to try to do these as much as we can and see what we can do with topics and getting some guests on here. And if you can be on here, I'm happy to have you. And it's cool to kind of sit down and have a conversation because we've had conversations where I'm like, man, that would have made a great podcast after we had it.
Dude, it's almost every phone call.
Dude, it's like we have phone calls where we're just like, oh, we'll talk for a minute, and then we talk for 2 hours about just the craziest topics, and it's entertaining. And
Two
I
hours and it
just
feels like 10 minutes.
yeah, so maybe now instead of phone calls, we'll just be like, hey, we need to get on the podcast really quick.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
no, it's
Hopefully,
really
hopefully,
cool.
hopefully next one we get a guest on there.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna do some work, get in touch with some guys, and we'll see if we can get a guest on from the moto industry. So
hey man,
yeah, but no, I'm gonna go to work and put some editing down on this. I got some time to myself after we kind of discussed my little injury. We'll hopefully in the next episode I'll have some more information. We can talk a little bit about it more. But now we're gonna put together some clips and stuff for our Instagrams, and well, yeah, we're gonna try to get this thing rolling. So thanks
let's
guys for
do it.
watching the RC sit down. This is Reece Clason and Mason Schwaber. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace out.